Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show.
The iron-blooded slaughter of the Wolf King deeply imprinted an indelible fear in the hearts of these surviving aliens. This fear has completely shattered some of their original small thoughts. Next, during this bloody slaughter, Su Lin promoted Nighthawk to be the leader of these alien species, equal to the second wolf in the wolf pack. None of these aliens dared to object to the promotion this time. They all trembled and howled in agreement. Nighthawk also recovered from his fear, and was a little flattered by this sudden promotion. Tweeted softly to express his gratitude and loyalty to the Wolf King. Su Lin accepted Nighthawk's loyalty, and then signaled Nighthawk to share the flesh and blood of the muskox of the different species. After all, these surviving alien species have withstood the test, and they will be part of the wolf pack in the future. 4 real members and companions. The wolf pack never treats them badly. Chirp! With a clear and low cry, Nighthawk obeyed the order and tore off large pieces of flesh and blood with its sharp claws. With these flesh and blood full of pure energy, it is expected that these alien species, who have not hurt their origin, will recover quickly from their injuries. However, the Wolf King was still in front of him. Even though these alien species had an extremely strong desire for food in their eyes, they forcibly suppressed it and did not dare to eat at will, because the bloody corpses of more than a dozen alien species that had just been slaughtered were still nearby. Their fear of the Wolf King exceeds their desire to eat. With Su Lin's departure, these aliens couldn't help panting. Even many seriously injured aliens collapsed to the ground after their feet went limp. They had just faced the terrifying Wolf King, and they all felt as if they had walked through the gate of hell. As for the delicious and tempting alien flesh and blood beside him, it took a long time for many alien species to start eating. While eating, time passed quietly. Time is like quicksand, and it will be several days in a blink of an eye. Now this polar night where everything is lonely has lasted for nearly 3 months, and it is beginning to have the meaning of quietly receding. There was already a faint light in the sky. This light indicates that the warm season is coming, and the aquatic plants in the land of adventures will also usher in a peak growth season. With lush aquatic plants, there will be more herbivorous populations that can be raised in captivity in this land of adventure. At this time, Su Lin also led the pack of wolves to the cold north, and it had been more than 2 months. At present, all forces and alien species that could pose a threat to the wolves have been eliminated in the land of adventure. Therefore, Su Lin also began to prepare to return to the southern territory with the wolves. After all, the southern territory is the real birthplace of wolves. There are also different flowered black-fruited rock orchids planted by Su Lin, and several iceberg lotus plants, as well as wolf parents and mothers. 2 months have passed, and I don't know how the wolf father and mother wolf are doing. After having the idea of leading the wolves back, Su Lin naturally thought about who should be stationed in this land of adventure. After much deliberation, the little lone wolf was the best choice in the end. Whether it is a tyrannical combat power or a steady style, they are all qualified for the garrison mission in the land of adventures. The rest of Wengsong, Baekseong, Xiao Wei, etc. do not have the ability to lead a party alone. Su Lin decided to deliver 70 to 80 male wolves to the little lone wolf, including 2 alien wolves, Kenner and Fan Lang. In addition, there are Xiaobai and more than 30 bears under his command. As a polar bear of different species, Xiaobai has potential. Needless to say, stationing with the little lone wolf in this land of adventure can also exercise the ability to lead the bear clan. During this period of time, in addition to finalizing the alien species stationed in the land of adventures, Su Lin also devoured various types of alien flesh and blood. The few alien species of birds that were beheaded last time were all alien species that had never been eaten. Therefore, with the increase of the evolution potion, each alien species provided Surin with a lot of evolution value. At this time, Su Lin came to the last dead lemming. This alien lemming was killed by little lone wolf, and it has a level 22 attribute strength. Among all the alien species that have been slaughtered now, only the genetic flesh of this alien lemming has never been swallowed. The taste of ordinary lemmings Su Lin has eaten before is not delicious compared to reindeer meat and musk beef. It is simply a world of difference, so he didn't have much hope for the smell of alien lemmings. After using an evolution potion, and waiting for the cold energy to spread all over the body, Su Lin began to devour the meat of the different species of lemmings. The flesh and blood of the alien species will not freeze due to the cold temperature, so even if the alien lemming has been placed in the cave for many days, the flesh and blood still retain the freshest taste. With one bite, he tore off a large piece of fat and thin flesh from the abdomen of the alien lemming and swallowed it into his mouth. After chewing 2 bites, Su Lin's eyes lit up. It was found that the taste of this exotic lemming meat was not as terrible as imagined. Maybe it can't reach the taste of different kinds of reindeer meat and different kinds of musk beef. At least it is at the same level as that of different kinds of birds. Compared with the bitter dodder branches that I swallowed before, it is much more delicious, plump and tender. There is still a trace of smoothness, but the temperature of the flesh and the blood in the body have evaporated a lot during this time. Otherwise, if it was just hunted, with the body temperature and fresh blood, this exotic lemming meat would definitely be a very delicious delicacy. Ding! The host eats lemmings of different species and gains 120 evolutionary points. The different species of lemming meat gave 120 evolutionary points in one go, which may not be as good as the different species of musk oxen and heterogeneous polar bears, but it can be regarded as quite satisfactory. Prompted by this evolutionary value, Surin began to gobble it up. Ding! The host eats lemmings of different species and gains 117 evolutionary points. Ding! The host eats lemmings of different species and gains 114 evolutionary points. Ding! The host eats lemmings of different species and gains 111 evolutionary points. While devouring, the elite wolves led by Xiaohui stood aside as guards. Although they also ate a lot of different kinds of flesh and blood during this period, when they saw the Wolf King swallowing it, they still couldn't help but feel the saliva in the wolf's mouth secreting rapidly. They all moved their throats up and down, but none of them dared to take a step beyond the thunder pool, because the Wolf King's eating right among wolves has always been supreme. Anyone who dared to challenge the Wolf King's right to eat has never appeared in the wolf pack. At this time, after a while, Su Lin gulped down 120 to 30 caddies of lemming meat. This lemming meat once again provided Su Lin with more than 10,000 evolutionary points, equivalent to the essence of a nearly 30th level alien species. These days, he has devoured more than a dozen alien species that were eating for the first time, as well as the essence of more than a dozen alien species, and once devoured the flesh and soul power of an entire Arctic silver fox. So the current evolution value of Su Lin is not far away from the next promotion. With Elite, he took out the main body of Cuscuta and a few energy fruits from a hollow at the top of the cave. Su Lin plans to go all out today and break through the promotion barrier. Su Lin has never swallowed the main body of the different grass dodder. The pure energy contained in it is far more than its branches. The main body of this dodder is equivalent to the essence of a different species to a certain extent. Today Su Lin is going to use it as fuel for his promotion again. The bitterness of dodder is to prevent it from being swallowed by other hunters. So the more important the place, the more bitter the taste will naturally be. The bitterness of the branches alone is enough to make Xiaohui, cousin, etc. grin their teeth, so the bitterness of the main body of Cuscuta is conceivable. At this time, Su Lin had just exposed his sharp fangs, biting a small piece of the main body of Cuscuta weed, which was harder than steel, and swallowed it into his mouth. He felt the extremely bitter taste in his mouth, rushing straight to his brain. This bitter taste made every cell in his body feel chills. Too bitter. The pure soul power in Su Lin's mind, which was so bitter, began to roll around, regulating every cell in the wolf's body. With the suppression of soul power, Su Lin resisted the bitter taste, and swallowed the main body of the different grass dodder into his stomach. Soon the main body of the different grass dodder turned into billowing energy, rushing towards the limbs and bones of Surin's wolf body. A light gray evolution value hint also appeared in front of Su Lin's eyes. Ding! Congratulations to the host for swallowing the main body of Cuscuta heterophila and gaining 18,000 evolution points. This message of evolution value made Su Lin's eyes brighten. 18,000 evolution points. There is no doubt that this is the most evolutionary value he has obtained since he devoured exotic flowers and plants in a single time. Under the temptation of this huge evolutionary value, he endured the extreme bitter taste and continued to devour the main body of the different grass dodder. Ding! Congratulations to the host for swallowing the main body of Cuscuta heterophyllum and gaining 17,500 evolutionary points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for swallowing the main body of Cuscuta heterophyllum and gaining 17,000 evolutionary points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for swallowing the main body of Cuscuta heterophyllum and gaining 16,500 evolutionary points. Before he finished devouring the main body of the Cuscuta weed, Sulin felt the mysterious evolutionary power descending on the huge wolf body. Breakthrough again. Sulin held his breath and began to greedily absorb this mysterious evolutionary energy. Under this wave of energy, every part of Surin's wolf body was subtly nourished and strengthened. Mysterious evolutionary energy. Wherever you swim, you will feel a burst of coolness and comfort. Under this evolutionary power, Surin's already unparalleled aura has been strengthened again. This incomparable aura, centered on Surin, spread wantonly, and soon permeated every corner of the wolf's cave. Under the incomparable aura of the Wolf King, all members of the wolf pack were suppressed by this aura, and they all lay quietly in their positions, not daring to move at all. And Su Lin's vigorous energy and blood, which already surpassed the 20th level bear tribe, also began to function. The billowing energy and blood made Su Lin's huge wolf body exude an astonishing temperature. The members of the wolf pack, who were more than 10 meters away, could feel the warmth that pierced their hearts. Su Lin has also seen when Little Lone Wolf, Little Gray and other alien species broke through. It's just that whether it's the mysterious energy that descends or the fluctuations when breaking through, I have to far surpass the alien species. The evolution at the genetic level seems to be far beyond the evolution of alien species. This can also be seen from the astonishing gap in combat power, even without counting the difference in strength brought about by Su Lin's more than a dozen strengthening of body parts. The strength obtained by promotion alone is far from comparable to that of other species. This mysterious energy also lasted for a long time, this time before it was fully absorbed. In this promotion, Su Lin's strength has also been greatly improved. He had originally reached a body size of more than 11 meters, but in this evolution, he had reached an astonishing 13 meters, more than 13 meters. Such a body shape, even in the Jurassic era, where dinosaurs were rampant, was enough to make a difference. At present, Su Lin's shoulder height has reached more than 4 meters, and the wolf's head is more than 5 meters. Standing on the flat ground, they all have a height of nearly 2 floors. At this time, Su Lin's promoted attribute page also appeared in front of him. Name, Surin. Species, Arctic wolf. Gene level, I. Level 17. Upgrading requires 128 evolutionary essences. Vitality, 7,000. Stamina, 640. Strength, 670. Defense, 650. Speed, 1,000. Additional attribute points, 80. Evolution value, 6,750. Talents, Hunting, Grade B. Stealth, Grade B. Healing, Grade S. Serious Zio, Grade S. The improvement in strength from this promotion is also very huge. Su Lin's attribute values have skyrocketed a lot. As for the extra attribute value, it is still added to the speed. The speed has reached a speed of 1080. If you run at full speed with this speed value, the speed will reach 500 meters per second, 1 mile per second, 60 miles per minute. Almost within 2 or 3 minutes, you can move hundreds of miles. In addition, the most important thing for Su Lin to pay attention to this promotion is the evolution value. The evolution value required for this upgrade has been changed to evolution essence. Su Lin clicked on the property page and checked the details. It was found that the evolutionary essence is also the accumulation of evolutionary points. Generally speaking, 10,000 points of evolutionary points can be gathered into one evolutionary essence. However, some special pure energies can be swallowed directly to obtain the essence of evolution. At this time, Su Lin looked away after he understood it. He felt the huge improvement in strength brought about by this promotion, and the light in a pair of golden brown wolf eyes was even more frightening. The strength lies in the cold world of ice and snow, and most of the time it is the courage of the hunter. As his strength improved again, Su Lin looked towards the extreme far away, and a pair of golden brown wolf eyes flashed with ambition and coldness. And just when Su Lin was promoted again, Father Wolf and Mother Wolf, and the wolves under his command had already arrived in the cold north of the North Pole. It's just that the breath of my own cubs and wolves along the way has already been blown away by the cold wind. They couldn't find any trace of Su Lin, but the several copper-colored giant beasts and the terrifying rat swarm were biting behind the pack of wolves. This made the wolf father and mother wolf look sad. Copper-colored giant beasts, terrifying rat swarms, and the former invincible tigers. Although wolf father and wolf mother have evolved into alien species, they have IQs far exceeding ordinary species. But I still don't know why there are so many terrifying existences in such a short period of time in the originally quiet and peaceful wolf pack territory. The originally dark and silent, almost lifeless northern ice field, at this time, due to the gathering of several forces, it became lively. At this time, the new human team led by Bob is launching heavy tanks at full speed and tracking the wolves by radar, and the terrifying wave of rats behind them was also biting them hard. Damn, what's going on? Didn't it mean that the backup troops blocked them? Why are they chasing them again? Bob, who is a member of the new human team, is looking at the terrifying rat wave gathering again through the central control screen in the heavy tank, with the fear of being dominated a few days ago still in his eyes. I narrowly escaped from that horrible rat wave a few days ago. I thought I got rid of this rat wave, but I never expected that within 2 or 3 days, this terrifying wave of rats would catch up again. And this terrifying rat wave seemed to eat nothing. It stands to reason that walking in the boundless ice and snow, there is nothing to eat along the way to support this army of lemmings. But they even gnawed off a layer of ice that was harder than steel, especially the giant lemming that was at least 10 meters long. It made a long cry to the Arctic Ocean below through the huge ice breach. No one knows how many shallow sea fishes were killed by the tsunami. These floating dead fish have also become the food of the army of gluttonous lemmings. If it wasn't for food reasons, which temporarily delayed the group of lemmings for some time, I'm afraid Bob and the others would have already been caught in this overwhelming rat tide. The last time a backup force came to make a rescue, but this time they won't be so lucky, because the backup troops not only lost thousands of people in one go in the last fight with rat tide, even the rocket launchers, heavy armored vehicles, heavy tanks, armed helicopters, etc., used for firepower suppression were mostly destroyed. Now, even if the backup force can really come to support, it is only the 6th generation of invincible fighters. It is also a product that almost condenses the peak technology of mankind. The 6th generation unmanned fighter aircraft can not only reach thousands of meters per second in the sky, but also far surpass previous fighters in terms of flexibility, endurance, ammunition loading and launch accuracy. It's just that the energy reserves and ammunition reserves of the 6th generation fighter jets have also been exhausted during multiple strikes and bombings. Captain, the backup team sent us the route map of the rat swarm. You can see that the rat swarm doesn't seem to be following the same route as us, but caught up with us along the way. Joins, who was in charge of communicating with the rear backup force, was looking at the map of the rat wave's progress on a flat screen. These road maps have several blue, red and gray lines representing the wolves of the 20 or so wolves in front of them, as well as the travel routes of themselves and the terrifying rat swarm. As for the countless dotted lines, these dotted lines all predict the next path of the terrifying rat swarm and the wolves. To be honest, humans have an absolute advantage in terms of IQ and data analysis alone. No matter how high the IQ of a mutant creature is, without 20 or 30 years of technological application and development, it will definitely be difficult to reach the level of current humans. Bob looked at this route map and found that the route of the terrifying rat wave was indeed different from his own. Originally, he thought that this terrifying rat swarm was found by his team, or the smell of wolves. But now from the map of the road ahead, it is found that it is not at all. After the terrifying rat swarm devoured thousands of people from the backup force, it headed here like a straight line. This is fundamentally different from their route, and the traveling speed is as fast as 10 kilometers per hour. This speed does not sound fast, but this is an overwhelming rat wave. Such a huge race can still maintain such a speed, which is already shocking the world. The terrifying rat swarm is like a moving gluttonous demon, leaving no blade of grass in its path. At this time, Bob looked at the route of the rat swarm and said, "Damn, does that mean the rat swarm isn't coming at us at all?" Joins nodded and said, "Yes, This is the conclusion of the backup team's speculation, but we are only 20 to 30 kilometers away from this terrifying rat swarm, and the rat swarm behind them consumed a lot of energy in the rapid advance, and they are almost hungry, will definitely not let us go. Thinking of this, Bob stretched out his fist and hit the inner wall of the heavy tank and said, "Then what should we do? Our heavy tank's forward speed in the ice and snow is far from comparable to that of the wolves in front. If we can't deviate from the path, let's hide somewhere else first." Joins shook his head and said, "It won't work, because the commander of the backup force told us to continue on the path of the rat swarm." The backup force wanted to know why such a terrifying rat swarm was advancing so fast. "Say no. There will probably be huge gains." Hearing this sentence, Bob was struck by lightning. Yes, their lives are cheap in the eyes of those in power. Even if they knew it was inevitable, they still had to find out the purpose of the terrifying rat swarm. The route of the terrifying rat wave has always been a straight line, so it is easy to predict. It's just that Bob doesn't know what they will encounter if they continue to walk along this path. On this path, is there anything worthy of such a horrific wave of rats? At this time, the alien lemming king was in the overwhelming rat tide, and a pair of small eyes were looking into the distance. Its line of sight directly skipped a few copper-colored behemoths, and what it looked at was further ahead, because only the things ahead are worthy of its attention, and there is a capable general under its command. It was also the able-bodied general who once sent back news that there is a place with lush aquatic plants and many species in the northern part of the forest. There is still inexhaustible pure energy in that place. So after the alien lemming king led a group of rats to tear countless black and copper monsters, they came to the north of Senhen again. It has been thinking about the fat area described in the news of the capable general for a long time coming. Now it seems to smell the breath of pure energy and many species full of vitality. Excitement flashed in the eyes of the alien lemming king. Eat nothing. If the area in front is really like the description of the competent general under his command, then if everything is swallowed up, its strength will usher in an even more astonishing improvement. At that time, it will become the real king of this Arctic ice field. Even if that terrifying wolf king reappears, what can he do with it? As for the several copper-colored giant beasts in front, in the eyes of the alien lemming king, they have already tried to compete with it for that piece of fat land. So a bloodthirsty cold light flashed in a pair of small eyes. Squeak! Following another sharp cry, the overwhelming tide of rats under his command once again increased their speed by a few minutes and swamped the copper-colored giant beast. Even the several alien species around him wanted to show off in front of the lemming king, and they all rushed towards the copper-colored behemoths. Although the unexpected helper of the copper-colored giant beast last time also caused them a lot of damage, and even 3 companions were torn apart by the flames spit out by the giant beast. But now these copper-colored behemoths have obviously become a lone army, without the helper who is crisscrossing the sky and swallowing flames. So they all screamed sharply and rushed over. And it was at this time, in the land of adventures, after Su Lin broke through, because he was about to leave this land of adventures, he took the little lone wolf to inspect this land of adventures again. Some of the places that need to be inspected and protected have also been told to the little lone wolf, especially those places where a large number of energy fruits can be born, indicating that the little lone wolf can go to sit in the town in person. For example, the territory where the Arctic Silver Fox clan used to be. There is also a large cave there, although it is not as spacious as the cave of the muskox herd. It is more than enough for dozens of wolves to stay. And in the territory of the Arctic silver fox, the aquatic plants are more luxuriant. Instead, it is also possible to drive the rapidly multiplying herbivorous populations there. No matter when, ensuring food is the most important thing. During this tour, time also passed by little. Soon Su Lin patrolled to the edge of the land of adventures. This was the territory of the reindeer herd at the beginning, and it was also the beginning of the bloody killing of the wolves. Here the wolves have completely wiped out the reindeer herd, and the area is now occupied by herds of moose and colonies of Arctic hares. The once weak Arctic rabbit has no fixed territory in this land of adventures, and can only survive in hiding. Now, due to the extinction of the reindeer herd, and Surin's order that the wolves are not allowed to hunt at will, that's why these Arctic rabbits started their happy rabbit life at the edge of this land of adventure, without the threat of hunters, and with pure aquatic plants as food. These Arctic rabbits naturally began to reproduce rapidly. The reproductive ability of rabbits may not be comparable to lemmings in the Arctic, but they are also among the top few. Therefore, in just a month or so, the Arctic rabbits appeared frequently in this area, and there were even groups of cubs following them at every turn. For such a scene, Su Lin is naturally happy to see it happen, but I still told the little lone wolf not to let the Arctic rabbits flood. When it's time to kill, you have to kill. The food is naturally for the wolves to eat. The meat of these Arctic rabbits is also tender and plump, which is a good ration. During the exhortation, the little lone wolf next to him also nodded in agreement repeatedly. Just when Su Lin gave some instructions and was about to take the little lone wolf to the other side of the land of adventures, in his pair of golden brown wolf eyes, a sense of awe suddenly appeared. Because of Su Lin's extremely sensitive senses, he faintly felt bursts of violent roars and screams. With his keen senses, he could only feel it faintly, which meant that the place where the roar and screams occurred was at least 100 kilometers away from the land of adventure's boom. In the awe, Su Lin moved at full speed in an instant, at a speed of more than 500 meters per second. He came to a high snow slope outside the land of adventures. At this time, the aura of the boss changed, which made the expression of the little lone wolf beside him serious. It also quickly ran and followed to the side of its boss. Little lone wolf has now reached level 18. And his full speed has reached 140 to 50 meters per second. This speed is extremely fast among the alien species around level 20. Run to the boss. Behind him, the little lone wolf also followed Su Lin, overlooking the cold Arctic ice field in the south. But the little lone wolf's senses are limited, and what he can sense is only a dozen kilometers away. But Su Lin turned his senses to the peak, and the sensing range soared to the extreme. He also heard clearly what the violent roar and sharp roar were. That was the sound of high explosive bombs exploding on the ice field of the Senhin Arctic, mixed with the ice cracking and lemmings roaring. In addition, there are dense and dull sounds of large caliber rapid fire machine guns. This sound made Su Lin's golden brown wolf eyes flash endlessly fiercely, and his white and flawless wolf hair completely exploded, entering a fighting state. On the huge wolf body, there is also a terrifying killing intent rising rapidly. Humanity. Su Lin never expected that humans would set foot on such a cold northern ice field at this time. You know, it's a polar night with dozens of degrees below zero. And those who set foot here are humans who came with all kinds of tyrannical technological killers. The visitor is not good. Originally, Su Lin planned to push across the Arctic ice sheet and then step out of this cold area to meet human forces. But who would have thought that humans would be the first to invade the North Pole? But the North Pole has already been regarded by Su Lin as the private territory of the wolves. How can it be allowed to walk around casually on the side of the couch? This made the terrifying killing intent on his huge wolf body more and more intense. Call. In the end he let out a long breath, and his golden brown wolf eyes narrowed, revealing a touch of danger and killing. Immediately afterwards, an earth-shattering wolf howl sounded. Ah, the howling of the rolling wolves is extremely penetrating. This is the howling of Su Lin, calling all the members of the wolf pack. Today's wolves are no longer the weak wolves they were back then. In the future, it will eventually collide with all human forces, so this time Su Lin plans to bring the wolves to learn a lot. Let them know that the future opponents are not just the batches of alien species on the Arctic ice sheet, who only rely on brute force and ethnic groups to attack and kill. The biggest opponent in the future will be the human beings, who possess peak technological killers and pay more attention to tactical coordination. The hunting tactics perfected by the wolves for thousands of years will also completely collide with human wisdom in this cold Arctic ice sheet. You have to fight against each other before you know where the shortcomings are in the future of wolves and human shopping. With Su Lin's strong sensing power, there should be a small number of human forces that can sense this attack. The violent roar of shells and the sound of high-speed machine guns are not densely packed into groups, but sporadic. This can also serve the purpose of testing the wolves. At this time, when Surin summoned an earth-shattering wolf howl, soon there were echoing howls from everywhere in the land of adventures. Ah, ah, roar, oh. At this time, the noisy howls of many species sounded from near to far, not only responding to the call of the Wolf King, but also sending news to the companions farther away. Now the number of members of the wolf pack has reached nearly 1,000. It can be said that the wolf pack under Su Lin's command is a powerful wolf pack that has never appeared before. Once such a pack of wolves is fully assembled, it can look down on the entire Arctic ice sheet. The Wolf King's howling is to get all the members together as quickly as possible. All members. In the past, when the Wolf King actually inspected the wolves, he never sent such a signal, because there are always some members of the wolf pack who need to be stationed at the ice caves, where food is stored, and there are always some members who need to be a vigilant force. But what is conveyed in this howling of wolves is that all the members have gathered, and the location of the wolf howl did not sound near the wolf cave. Therefore, after hearing the howling of wolves, the members of the wolves, whether they were resting, guarding, or guarding the food in the ice cave, all ran towards this side at the fastest speed. Every member didn't know what happened, but they all ran in the direction of the Wolf King desperately. The cohesion of the wolves in successive battles was best displayed at this moment. No matter what happens, no matter what they encounter, as long as the Wolf King makes a long howl, they will run wildly. The members of the wolf pack within a range of 30 to 40 kilometers were the first to gather in front of them. Among them, most of the female wolves guarded by the cousin's command were watching the Wolf King standing proudly on the high snow slope. There is love and admiration in both pairs of wolf eyes. Even among animals, the female species hopes that the other mate is stronger than themselves. This is almost engraved in their genes, and cannot be changed. Among the wolves, the Wolf King is naturally the strongest, even if he is not among the wolves. The Wolf King is the strongest among any species in the entire Arctic ice sheet. Those species that once stood against the wolves one after another have already confirmed this fact with their blood. So the Wolf King has long been the invincible and invincible god in the hearts of many members of the wolf pack. How could these female wolves have no love for such a god? The many female wolves who gathered first all wagged their tails quickly and howled in unison, wanting the Wolf King to see them. But the Wolf King's majestic wolf body standing on the snowy slope was not disturbed at all by these long and admiring howls. That snow-white stalwart figure is like an iceberg without emotion. The roar of the Wolf King summoning the pack of wolves has the highest priority among the pack of wolves. Therefore, all the members were running towards this side with all their strength. Not long after the many female wolves arrived, many members also began to gather under the command of the Wolf King one after another. Tens, hundreds, under the call of the Wolf King. The mobilization ability of the wolves is extremely terrifying. As they ran at full speed, their speed almost exceeded 20 meters per second. Even the clumsy Bear clan, amidst the frenzied urging of Bai Xiong, Wen Xiong and Xiao Bai, ran wildly without hesitation. After a while, after the wolves gathered more and more members, the female wolves stopped howling to express their love to the Wolf King, because it is still impossible for them to express their naked love to the Wolf King in front of nearly 1,000 members of the wolf pack. As the members gathered one by one, the monstrous arrogance rose again among the wolves. The wolves may be separated, but the individual strength can only be regarded as mediocre. Even many members of the wolf pack would not survive half a month if they were released into the cold Arctic ice sheet. But after they really gather, they are the top predators on this Arctic ice sheet. They are the invincible existence standing at the top of the food chain. After the wolves gathered, all the members looked up at the tall figure of the Wolf King. Except for the many female wolves howling to express their love at the beginning, the rest of the gathered members did not make any sound. Even the alien species with the most sensitive senses felt a strong killing intent from the Wolf King. It was this killing intent that made them even more afraid to speak out, and they were all warning the members they led with their eyes. In the cognition of the members of the wolf pack, this place of adventure is unified by the wolf pack. The wolves and bears within a radius of 200 to 300 miles in the northern part of the cold forest have also been recruited by the wolves. Nowadays, it can be said that the wolf pack is the unique king in this area. They don't know what else is there that can make the Wolf King have such a strong killing intent. In the silent waiting, the members of the wolf pack gathered more and more. It didn't take long for all the current members of the wolf pack to gather. Except for the Wolf King and the little lone wolf standing on the snow slope, the rest of the alien species are standing under their command and waiting for the Wolf King's order. Red Tail, who has finally advanced to level 19 these days, leads the Arctic fox family to the far right. Nighthawk, who won the first place in the last alien melee, was also rewarded by the Wolf King with an energy fruit in addition to the alien musk beef. In a short period of time, he was promoted to the middle of level 11 and unlocked the talent Chasing the Wind. Nighthawk led more than 20 different species under his command, and flew to the far left. And Zioa, who is elite wolf clan. Zio obeys bear clan, the female wolves led by the cousin and the jackal, and more than 200 male wolves, under the command of the little lone wolf gathered in turn under the command of the Wolf King. They all looked up at the Wolf King eagerly, waiting for the Wolf King's order. This is the current peak lineup of the wolves. At this time, after the wolves really gathered together, Su Lin's golden brown wolf eyes also looked away from the fierce battlefield in the distance, and he looked down at the wolves. Scanning around, Su Lin found that there were no wolves below level 6 among the wolves. All of them are above level 6. And even half of the wolves have broken through to level 7. This kind of strength, coupled with the cooperation of the wolves, is enough to easily hunt tigers and bears. It is precisely because of such a powerful pack of wolves that Su Lin is going to take them to meet the current strongest master of the world, humanity. The wolves want to be the top predators, and human beings are like a mountain standing in front of them. It's impossible not to turn over. In addition, Su Lin was still running his extreme senses just now, and felt a terrifying rat wave 100 kilometers away. And in the observation just now, I found that the direction of travel of this terrifying rat swarm, and several human heavy tanks seems to be heading straight for the land of adventure. This is the reason why Su Lin's killing intent on the wolf's body became stronger just now. From Su Lin's understanding these days, he knew that the land of adventures only appeared after the world changed, just like the mysterious iceberg. Although Su Lin didn't know about humans and the terrifying rat tide, how did he know about the land of adventures? But now the land of adventures has been ruled by wolves. Coming to the land of adventures is like coming to the pack of wolves. Since they are all coming towards the wolves can't run away, can they? So there was another earth-shattering wolf howl, which exploded in the cold air. This wolf howl made all the members of the wolf pack howl in response. All of a sudden, how many howls of wolves, bears, Arctic foxes and other species echoed in the sky above the ice and snow. Although many members still don't understand where the strong killing intent in the Wolf King's wolf roar comes from, the Wolf King has already become the spiritual pillar of the wolf pack, and the belief of the wolf pack in every campaign. All members of the wolf pack only know the killing intent of the Wolf King, and they will go forward. After the wolves gathered, they were all waiting for the Wolf King's order. Following another earth-shattering howl of wolves, all members of the wolf pack ran towards the south under the direction of the Wolf King. Although their senses can't sense any species in the distance, is it worth the Wolf King's fuss? But they were all running crazily, because they knew that the strong killing intent of the Wolf King would definitely not be without reason. During the run, the cold and quiet Arctic ice field was stirred up by bursts of ice and snow. Nearly 1,000 birds and beasts are majestic. If you look at it from the sky at this time, it will be like a magnificent picture scroll. Su Lin was at the forefront, but he was not completely separated from the wolves, and his speed was not even 1/10 of the peak speed. Followed closely by a group of different species: little lone wolf, red tail, warm bear, white bear, little gray, ice bear, cousin, jackal, gray little wolf, wolf sister, nighthawk, little white, van wolf, broken ear, etc. There are dozens of alien species in the wolf pack. Every alien species followed the Wolf King, and their eyes showed boiling fighting intent, especially among the alien species, who have not yet reached the status of the second wolf. The fighting spirit in their eyes is even more fanatical. Su Lin led the pack of wolves to rush out from the land of adventures, and at this time, the terrifying rat wave finally caught up with Bob's new human team. The new human team under Bob originally planned to use artillery fire and rapid-fire machine guns to delay the progress of the rat tide, but it failed completely. These artillery fires that exploded on the Arctic ice sheet did kill an unknown number of lemmings, but the casualties of these lemmings have no effect on the horror mouse at all. These ordinary lemmings seem to be consumables for granted. After ignoring the artillery fire, the terrifying rat wave was only delayed for a moment before catching up. The overwhelming rat swarm made Bob and the others seem to have returned to the fear they had when they were dominated that day. The last time the giant lemming with a size of 100 meters hadn't shown up, it almost killed them. And now this giant lemming is in the rat tide. Besides, there are several lemmings with a size of 5 or 6 meters. Therefore, in the face of such a rat tide, they were like a few fish unable to swim in the sea, unable to escape at all. You must know that even the thousands of people in the backup force that day could only barely tear a bloody path from the terrorist mouse by relying on a large number of technological killers. Even in the end, they all died in the rat tide, and thousands of elite soldiers became the rations for the rat tide. So at this time, the new human team looked at the terrifying rat wave with endless horror in their eyes. In addition to fear, there is also a strong desire to survive. Regardless of human beings or beasts, when faced with a real threat of death, they will do everything to survive. Because this is the most instinctive desire of genes, it cannot be suppressed or stopped at all. Under such pressure, Bob, the captain of the new human team, finally put the words of the commander of the backup force behind him. While steering the heavy tank, he shouted hoarsely through the intercom, "Turn, go in the direction of the wolves. No matter what, we must survive first. Go in the direction of the wolves, and the rat swarm is still chasing us. If not, then fire at the wolves." Bob's words rang through the intercoms of several heavy tanks. Although many members of the new human team didn't understand the reason why Bob asked to open fire on the wolves, but with a strong desire to survive, this time they tried their best to cooperate with Bob's command, because they all want to live, and they don't want to be buried in this rat tide, and then become a pile of dirty rats. Come on, listen to the captain. You have to survive before you can hope to complete the mission. Rush, charge towards the wolves. I understand what the captain means. Hit the wolves with shells, muddy the water, and pull the wolves into the melee. The wolves not far away are obviously more than one giant wolf pack. As long as we drag them in, we still have a chance. Ha ha, the captain still has brains. As long as that pack of wolves delays us for a while, we will have a chance to escape. I hope this terrifying rat wave won't change its path for us. The screams of many new humans under the threat of death were also heard on the walkie-talkie, ups and downs. They are all thinking of diverting the disaster to the east, so as to take advantage of the chaos to kill a bloody path. In their eyes, even though there may be more than one strange beast in the pack of wolves ahead, in the eyes of Bob and others, this pack of wolves is far less dangerous than the terrifying rat wave that swept across. It's just that Bob never imagined that it was his decision that angered the invincible Wolf King, who was leading a monstrous pack of wolves rushing towards this direction. At this time, under the strong desire to survive, the new human team obeyed Bob's command, launched the heavy tanks top speed with all their strength, and chased towards the wolf pack not far away. Heavy tanks are far slower than wolves in ice and snow, but the artillery shells fired by the heavy tanks can directly strike dozens of kilometers away. Under the threat of the terrifying rat tide, Bob couldn't control that much anymore. With one order, several heavy tanks fired several high explosive bombs. The high explosive bomb headed towards the wolves in the dark night, mixed with brilliant flames. The arc speed of the high explosive bomb is extremely fast, with terrifying lethality that shocks the mind. Boom, boom, boom. The accuracy of the heavy tank and high-speed movement is not too high, but several shells still hit the surrounding wolves. Several shells directly blasted the ice around the wolves. Ice, snow, fire, and shrapnel were flying in all directions. Many wolves fell into the icy water, and many wolves were seriously injured by the flying shrapnel. Even if ordinary wolves move at a speed of 17 or 8 meters per second, they can't escape the killing range of the shells at all. Only the wolf father and wolf mother, because they are different species, still have the strength of more than 10 levels. With the powerful induction of the alien species, and the speed comparable to a cheetah, it escaped this wave of bombing, but the hair was still splashed with ice and snow. At this time, Father Wolf saw several members of his wolf pack being seriously injured, which made his dark blue wolf eyes a little red. Because there are still many old members who have followed it from the beginning, there is also camaraderie among wolves. After all, as a social animal, after getting along with each other over time, it is impossible to say that there is no feeling at all. That's why Father Wolf saw such a scene, and a wolf howling with extreme resentment and sternness exploded in the sky over this cold Arctic ice field. Ah, with such a wolf howl, The uninjured wolves and the slightly injured wolves in the wolf pack quickly dispersed. Those wolves who fell into the icy water also climbed up with the help of the ice floes by dog planning. The wolves in the wolf pack. After this wave of attacks, in those pair of wolf eyes, apart from a little fear, more bloodthirsty and killing intent were brought out, and the fangs were also exposed from the wolf's mouth. In fact, wolf father and wolf mother had no intention of competing with these copper-colored giant beasts, let alone getting entangled in that terrifying rat wave. Therefore, during this period of time, they were all running away crazily. They even abandoned the southern territory, where their cubs were brought down, but the copper-colored behemoth still doesn't let them go. This made the wolf father and wolf mother only show their fangs and sharp claws, stop running. Since there is no way to get rid of this copper-colored monster, let's fight. Even if they are really killed in battle, it's better than being crushed to death by the fire bombs swallowed by the copper-colored giant beast while escaping. When their cubs did not become kings, the wolf father and wolf mother also led the wolf pack to survive in the Arctic ice sheet for many years. They are the alpha wolf and queen wolf with a lot of experience, so I also know better. When faced with the massacre and provocation of powerful hunters, only by exposing their sharp fangs and claws, and only by using the most hysterical arrogance, can those hunters understand that if they want to hunt them, they must pay the price in blood. Ah, it was another howl of a wolf full of endless and decisive arrogance, which exploded in the sky above the ice and snow. The scattered wolves also ran quickly on the shattered ice floes. They are going to have a fierce duel of unequal size with these copper-colored monsters in this cold Arctic ice field. The wolves had no escape, and many of their companions were seriously injured. In this situation, many wolves have already fallen into madness. The pack of wolves led by Father Wolf and Mother Wolf is different from the pack led by Celine, because the wolf father and wolf mother have a small number of wolves, only about 20 wolves, usually hunting and living are almost always together, and the affection between companions is unmatched by many wolves. This feeling made the wolves, who still had the ability to fight, go crazy, and attack the copper-colored behemoth from several directions. Wolf pack tactics: concentrate superior forces and hunt down a copper-colored behemoth first. What they picked out was the heavy tank that Bob was on. It's just that Bob in the heavy tank didn't show the slightest fear at all. Instead, he flashed with excitement. Ha ha! The wolves have taken the bait. Brothers, our chance to escape and ascend to heaven has come. Bob, who was 2.78 meters tall, shouted excitedly through the intercom. Even if this pack of wolves launched a decisive charge against him, Bob didn't care at all, because in his eyes, this pack of wolves was not as dangerous as the terrifying rat swarm, and after falling into a real melee, it might be that this pack of wolves was the first to die in the belly of the rat tide. After all, the wolves were made of flesh and blood, and they couldn't resist the bite of the terrifying rat tide. And the special alloy in the heavy tank can last for a while at least. In such a rapidly changing battlefield, a moment is enough. Ha ha! The pack of wolves has rushed in, and there are two mutated wolves that are more than 3 meters in length. The temptation of the flesh and blood of these mutated wolves can be imagined for Rat Tide, a glutton who eats everything. At the moment when the rat swarm is attacking the wolves, we must rush out. Don't get too complacent now. Also, how much does our escape route deviate from the rat swarm's path? I suggest that the deviation be larger, so that we can completely shake off the rat swarm. I agree. No matter what, the most important thing is to save our lives first. There is always a chance to complete the task. As long as we are still alive, the authorities will not treat our family too harshly. I agree. Directly offset by 90 degrees, leave, then follow the traces of the rat wave. Amidst the noisy and fast discussions on the intercom, the new human team finally finalized the plan to break out and escape. This made the new human team begin to mobilize all artillery fire and rapid-fire machine guns, while suppressing the wolves that came over, while trying to fight a bloody path from the rat swarm that had already surrounded them. These swarms of rats are now rushing towards the wolves because part of them are attracted by the flesh and blood of the wolves. Therefore, under the concentrated firepower of several heavy tanks of the new human team, a crack was really torn open. Bob and other members of the new human team looked at the crack and seemed to see the hope of life. They even roared and manipulated the heavy tank controller to fire shells crazily. and the several rapid-fire machine guns on the heavy tank also spit out flames. It's just that the two mutated wolves in the wolf pack were not suppressed and rushed over. After rushing over, Bob's heavy tank trembled violently after being slammed by the wolf father and mother wolf. But the wolf father of level 12 and the wolf mother of level 11 are not strong enough to overturn this heavy tank, nor are they strong enough to crush the heavy tank. Therefore, they could only attack the heavy tanks on the periphery in vain, with no effect. Such a scene also made Bob and the heavy tank relax his next hanging heart. It seems that the wolves in the cold Arctic are not strong, but that's right. After all, there are few species here, and the wolves don't have many food sources at all. Bob whispered in his heart. As a new human being, he naturally knows that even if the genetic shackles are unlocked, the mutated organisms still need a lot of energy and nutrients to grow rapidly. So in this cold North Pole, the wolves were as weak as he expected. I'm afraid that there are only lemmings, a species with terrifying reproductive ability, that rely on countless ordinary lemmings to run around, and the food and energy they get can support several terrifying giant lemmings. In this way of thinking, Bob also relaxed his vigilance against the wolves, and continued to direct the breakout through the walkie-talkie. And the alien lemming king standing in the middle of the rat wave saw a pack of wolves also stir in. A look of impatience suddenly flashed in its pair of small eyes. Squeak! It stood upright with a huge body, and a sharp and long whistle sounded again, signaling the lemmings under its command to attack more desperately. Whether it is a copper-colored behemoth, or a pack of wolves, it will kill them all. What about wolves? It has been hiding for more than a year because of the terrifying Wolf King, and it dare not show its face. Now that it has crawled out of the dark and gloomy snow cave, that means it is consciously fearless of any species, regardless of whether the current pack of wolves has anything to do with that terrifying Wolf King. It is all extinct. In the terrifying scream of the Lemming King, the countless army of lemmings accelerated again and swarmed. The bloodthirsty red light in the eyes of millions of lemmings also flickered even more intensely. But it was at this time, when the alien Lemming King decided to wipe out both the copper-colored behemoth and the wolf pack, when Bob and other new humans didn't take this weak wolf pack seriously. Sudden, an earth-shattering howl of a wolf suddenly exploded under the dark night sky. This wolf howl was louder than the cry of the alien Lemming King. It even briefly overshadowed the sound of the terrifying rat swarm. In this thunderous howling of wolves, all species within a radius of tens of miles felt an invincible aura that seemed to be descending from heaven. The earth-shattering howl of the wolf and the tyrannical aura spreading wantonly made the alien Lemming King with the most sensitive senses the first to react. Its eyes, which originally had an expression of impatience and killing, also became serious at this moment. The strength of this breath makes it feel boundless oppression. Before the earth-shattering howl of the wolf hit the ground, the Lemming King who reacted the fastest was the first to notice a white wolf that was 13 to 4 meters long. It jumped 2 to 300 meters in the air. The wolf's body crashed onto a high ice wall. Boom! The white wolf stood majestically on the ice wall, and the shards of ice splashed when it landed were also flying around. His golden-brown wolf eyes scanned every corner of the battlefield with boundless coldness. With the movement of the white wolf's gaze, every species that glanced at it felt cold all over at that moment. Even Bob and the others, whose physical senses and reactions were far less sensitive than the beast, felt an indescribable pressure, which slammed into everyone's heart. They were so excited that they were about to tear apart the rat swarm. They were speechless for a while, and they couldn't even breathe. It wasn't until they struggled with the most instinctive reaction of their bodies, and barely moved their eyes to look at the display screen of the heavy tank, that there was an expression of incomparable horror in their eyes, because they saw a magnificent scene in their lifetime. A huge white wolf more than 10 meters in length stood indifferently on the huge ice wall not far away. The endless tide of rats and the mutant lemming that stood upright and had a size of 100 meters stood facing each other in the air. The horrifying rat wave that was originally restless was surprisingly quiet in front of the white wolf, who was spreading its powerful aura wantonly, because the beast's senses and genetic instincts are sending them the most extreme danger warning. In the bloodthirsty eyes of the lemmings, a trace of clarity was rarely restored under the extremely dangerous atmosphere. Looking at the giant white wolf, there was also a hint of fear in their eyes. Under this fear, the rat tide, which was like a gluttonous demon, just stood still in place strangely. This battlefield, which was still bloody just now, was like pressing the pause button after the arrival of the white wolf. In the heavy tank, Bob and other new humans, who had just underestimated the wolves, at this moment every cell in his body seemed to be shaking, his legs were trembling, and he was a little unsteady when standing. How could they have imagined that just when they were about to use the pack of wolves as bait to fight their way out, such an invincible giant white wolf would appear out of nowhere? This white wolf is probably the strongest beast they have ever encountered. Even the mutated brown bear that participated in the siege last time was far inferior to this white wolf. Just standing on the ice wall, the white wolf has endless power rising. The still terrifying rat wave is the best proof. This shocked many new humans and researchers in heavy tanks. It even seems to feel that the scene in front of me is an illusion. Is there really such a powerful wolf clan? And in a heavy tank, Tiffany, who looked a little sluggish and had some tattered clothes, looked at the huge white wolf on the display screen. In a pair of beautiful golden brown eyes, he suddenly felt that this white wolf looked familiar. She struggled out of the shock, and then quickly searched through the photos she had taken in the Arctic ice field from the storage device she carried with her. After a purposeful search, Tiffany finally found the array of photos taken when the white wolf hunted the muskox. Her eyes were repeatedly comparing the photo with the huge white wolf in the video, and soon realized that this white wolf was too similar to the one she had photographed. It's just that the size has become too huge. White wolf. This seems to be the white wolf that he once photographed. Yes, back then that white wolf could hunt such a large prey as muskox alone. What's more, now that the world has changed drastically, the white wolf itself is an excellent hunter, and it seems that it is not so incomprehensible that it can grow up to this day. Only through the indifferent eyes of the white wolf, Tiffany knew that the white wolf, who had become a terrifying beast, might have gone further and further away from humans. There was no emotion in those indifferent eyes, they just quietly scanned the audience. But the white wolf just stood quietly on the ice wall like this, no force from any side, no species dared to move at all. The ice wall, where the white wolf stands, is very high, and all species can only see the whole picture of the white wolf by looking up. When I looked up, the wisps of aurora in the polar night seemed to be floating above the head of the white wolf, setting off the white wolf like a dream. Looking at such a scene, Tiffany suddenly remembered a sentence. Those who came from the darkness were either beasts or gods. And this white wolf, coming from the darkness, is both a beast and a god. The white wolf alone can deter the entire overwhelming rat tide. It's just that such a silent scene didn't last long. With the sharp cry of the alien lemming king, the bloodthirsty scarlet in rat tide's eyes became more intense. This rich bloodthirsty color once again covered the general Qin through the eyes of lemmings. They frantically followed the alien lemming king and screamed sharply again. With millions of lemmings chirping, one can imagine how spectacular and vast it is. This scream made Bob and other members of the new human team in the heavy tank feel as if their heads were about to be blown apart by the sharp sound. Tiffany, Davina, and the other two experts and scholars, who were ordinary humans, were all shaken by the sharp roar, so that strands of blood spilled from their eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. Tiffany and Davina, who were originally good-looking, looked like female ghosts seeking their lives from the underworld against the backdrop of the blood. But these millions of lemmings chirping did not disturb Su Lin at all. His determination and physique are so strong that he will no longer be disturbed by the outside world. It's just that Su Lin is actually a little familiar with the shrill rat wave breath. You must know that this giant lemming can detect its own existence with its sensitive senses and its subordinate groups. Then Su Lin's senses are far stronger than those of lemmings. When they were in the southern territory of the wolves, they naturally sensed a large group of lemmings moving deep underground. It's just that he was busy unifying the southern territories at the time, and didn't pay much attention to the weak species of lemmings. But Su Lin didn't expect that, just because he didn't care, the lemming group would grow to such a huge scale. Such a horrific rat swarm of millions, not to mention several heavy human tanks. If I came a few minutes late, even the wolf parents and mothers would be buried in the rat swarm. So under this kind of thought, Su Lin, who was just watching everything quietly, suddenly exuded an unparalleled and killing intent. These human beings who dared to attack wolf father and wolf mother must die. But this group of dirty rats, who dare to crawl out of the dark and wet ground, must also die. Su Lin's golden brown eyes began to emit dark blue fluorescence under the extreme killing intent. In the emission of this fluorescence, the arrogance rising from Su Lin's body became more and more terrifying. At this time, the alien Lemming King not far away also sensed the rise of Su Lin's arrogance. In fact, when he first noticed Su Lin, the alien Lemming King felt the breath of Su Lin. This is the terrifying Wolf King on the ice and snow back then. It was precisely because of the existence of this Wolf King that it hid underground for 300 or 400 days before it dared to show its head. Fortunately, after showing up, Lianjie, in the first battle, countless copper-colored giant beasts and black monsters, as well as the two-legged beasts with weak breath inside, were all swallowed by the rat tide, and became the ration of the rat tide. Even the pack of wolves that used to be in the territory were chased by the rat wave, and the copper-colored monster like a lost dog. Wherever the rat tide passed along the way, there was nothing to stop it. Wherever he went, the rat tide would eat it. After traveling for hundreds of kilometers, the rat swarm was unstoppable. Along the way, I also encountered some species that hid very deeply, but under the swarm of rats. These species just howled miserably before disappearing without a trace. Not even the bones were left, and all of them entered the belly of rat tide. But I don't know why. The alien Lemming King, who had full confidence in his own strength and the rat group under his command, still felt boundless depression when he really confronted this terrifying Wolf King. This depression makes it manic and makes it feel uneasy. Is this its sixth sense warning it? The alien Lemming King didn't know, but as the dark blue fluorescence on the white wolf's body on the ice wall gradually subsided, this feeling of uneasiness intensified. So it opened up its talent in an instant. The blood-red fluorescence reverberated and diffused around it, and its small eyes also turned blood-red. This is the A-level talent of the alien Lemming King, Rift. This is its sonic talent. The sonic talent of the alien Lemming King is extremely powerful, but since it has been in possession, except for the last time it was used in the battle with the copper-colored giant beast and the black monster, it has never been used again. After all, in order to avoid the sensitive senses of this terrifying Wolf King, it didn't even dare to emit its own breath. So how could it dare to use such a blatant sonic talent? But now it came out from the dark and gloomy underground. What I didn't dare to do before, I have to try it today. Now that it has met this terrifying Wolf King, then it will try this Wolf King, who has given it countless fears and shadows. How much weight is there? As for the damned feeling of depression and anxiety, it can't stop the ambition of the alien Lemming King and this white wolf at this moment. Relying on the support of the entire group of lemmings, it has been hiding under the icy and snowy forest for more than a year. Hundreds of days and nights of suffering, just for this moment. So how can it give up? How can you escape without fighting? Today it is to completely shatter the shadow and fear in my heart. Just as it and the white wolf's aura were rising rapidly, the sensitive senses of the alien Lemming King also sensed the sound of countless running wildly behind the white wolf. This should be the pack of wolves, under the command of the white wolf. It's just that the alien Lemming King still doesn't have the slightest fear, because no matter how many wolves the white wolf had, they would never be compared with the rat tide under him. Now that the pack of wolves, led by the white wolf, has also come, it will happen that the king will face the king, the general will face the general, and it will be completely determined who will be the king of this ice and snow land. This battle will also determine what species will dominate the Arctic ice sheet in the future. Under this belief, the arrogance of the alien Lemming King rose even faster. In a pair of small eyes, the blood-red color is also more intense. Chirp! With a crisp scream resounding through the sky, the nighthawk, which is a different species of bird, arrived first. It hovered on the side of the Wolf King, with a pair of jet black eagle eyes watching the audience. As a different kind of bird, Nighthawk has its own arrogance. Except for focusing on the powerful alien Lemming King and several unidentified copper-colored giant beasts, he didn't pay attention to the rest of the lemmings at all. Then came the red tail. Compared to Su Lin's huge wolf body, the 3-meter red tail is like a small white elf. Whoosh! With a sound of piercing the air, the red tail came to the right side of Su Lin. Originally, Red Tail wanted to jump on the Wolf King's back, so that not only could it use mental power to radiate a wider range, but it could also use mental power fluctuations to provide a layer of protection for the Wolf King. It's just out of fear of the Wolf King. It doesn't dare to do this at all. It's small, It came to the side of Su Lin's thick right paw, and its slender body also stood upright, looking down at the dense rat tide below. After Nighthawk and Red Tail entered the arena one after another, the rest of the wolves also arrived one after another soon. With a long howl, the little lone wolf now has a body of more than 7 meters, and has already entered the level of a giant beast. Now that the little lone wolf has activated the Mad Wolf talent, if he kills to the point of insanity, he can tear apart 20-odd levels of alien species. Roar! Wingsong came into the arena, and the wee daughter parasitic in it also had 2 newly split branches, waving behind Wingsong, shining with emerald green fluorescence. White bear, little gray, ice bear, cousin, wolf sister, jackal, gray little wolf, broken ear, fan wolf, and so on. With the complete arrival of one alien species after another and hundreds of wolves, hundreds of Arctic foxes, and dozens of bears under his command, a tyrannical wolf pack was completely displayed in front of the rat tide and the new human team. At this time, in the heavy tank, Bob and other new humans, in addition to covering their ears tightly to resist the screams of the rat tide, looking at such a pack of wolves, they all felt unreal. Especially Bob. He just thought that due to the lack of food in the Arctic ice field, it is impossible for a powerful wolf pack to appear. But now he has suffered the most painful slap in the face. The arrogance gathered by this group of wolves that suddenly appeared cannot be described as powerful. This kind of arrogance is obviously already monstrous. At this time, Bob didn't know how fierce sparks would be sparked by such a mighty pack of wolves and overwhelming terrifying rat swarms in this Arctic ice field, where there are few people and everything is lonely. But Bob knew that they, who were in the center of the battlefield, might become the first victims of the blood-stained ice field when the two sides collided fiercely. After the wolves and the rat tide confronted each other for a while, it was Bob and a group of new humans who broke the situation. Under the pressure of survival, they all wanted to drive several heavy tanks to escape from this area. The rough roar of the heavy tanks' engines was rumbling, but neither side paid any attention to it, because in the eyes of the alien Lemming King and Su Lin, these heavy tanks can be easily destroyed, so they are not worth paying attention to at all. With the senses and speed of Su Lin and the alien Lemming King, even if these heavy tanks escaped 100 miles ahead of time, it would not help. At this time, in this cold ice field, the wolves and the rat tide were still confronting each other, and the arrogance of both sides was rising rapidly. In the end, when Bob and several other heavy tanks fled to the edge, the alien Lemming King finally couldn't stand the boundless sense of oppression brought by the opposite white wolf. It roars, squeak. With the addition of the talent sound wave, the sharp and long howl swept towards the wolves like a rolling brain-filling magic sound. This sound wave swept through the rat wave. Not only did not cause the rat wave to be traumatized, but it also made the bloodthirsty light, in the eyes of the ordinary lemmings, under his command even more powerful. And the arrogance of the terrifying rat wave also increased again. Squeak! Countless lemmings chirped even more frantically, and this chirping made the rolling sound waves even more massive. Pone, pone, pone! Under the sound waves of the alien Lemming King, the bulge and the ice pile were destroyed and torn apart, and dense cracks appeared in the thick ice layer. Even if Bob and the others came to the edge of the confrontation between the two sides, they were still touched by this sound wave. But just when the sound wave was about to overturn several heavy tanks, an unprecedented wolf howl like thunder on the ground suddenly appeared in the sky above this cold area. This wolf howl cannot describe its unprecedented power, nor can it describe its sonic speed. It can't even be called a sound wave, because it is too much faster than the speed of sound. Last come first. Surin's Sirius Iowa was later than the alien Lemming King's talent, but the speed of the sound waves was too fast. 10 times the speed of sound, more than 3,000 meters per second. Surin standing on the ice wall was more than 2,000 meters away from rat tide, but at the speed of howling wolves, before even a second had passed, they collided violently with the sound waves of the alien Lemming King. Pone! The huge impact of the sound waves spread in the middle of the confrontation between the rat wave and the wolf pack. This extreme impact caused the 3 affected heavy tanks to shatter in an instant, and more than 10 new humans among them were directly shattered into blood mist. Only 2 heavy tanks on the edge were blown away by the terrifying sound waves one after the other. After the 2 heavy tanks flew hundreds of meters away, they landed with a bang, stirring up countless pieces of ice. After the heavy tank of the new human team was cleared in an instant, the two rolling sound waves still collided violently in midair. Rolling sound waves. Wave after wave exploded under the cold sky. The sonic talent of the alien Lemming King is undoubtedly very strong. If it is not strong, it will not be able to compete with Sulin's wolf howl. But very soon, in the dark night sky, where Su Lin was, under the talent of Howling Wolf, a phantom of a lake began to be outlined. A vast and boundless Sirius is howling at the full moon. This long howling sound seemed to shatter the full moon. After the outline of the phantom of the Sirius howling moon was completed, dark blue fluorescence with dots of stars slipped from the night sky and entered the body of the wolf clan under Su Lin's command. At this moment, all the wolves felt their bodies warm. Even the alien species of the level of Little Lone Wolf and Little Gray have enhanced their attribute values in all aspects. As for the ordinary wolves under his command, the numerical attributes of all aspects have been enhanced more obviously. The fangs and claws of ordinary wolves have become sharper, the flesh and hair have become thicker and firmer, and the bones in the body have become tougher. The phantom of Sirius Xiao greatly increased the strength of the wolves in an instant. Originally, the overall strength of the wolf clan was at level 6 or 7, but now with the addition of Sirius Xiao Phantom, they have at least reached level *** strength. The already high morale of the wolves was completely burned under the phantom shadow of Sirius Xiao. Many wolves began to howl after the Wolf King under the increasing strength of the boiling body. The howling of wolves overwhelmed the sharp chirping of the rat tide on the opposite side, and after the phantom of Sirius howling moon was outlined, Su Lin's wolf howling sound wave also reached the strongest. In the last wave of sound wave collision, the sound waves of the alien Lemming King were completely defeated. The tyrannical wolf howling sound wave also swept towards the rat wave and took away the lives of countless lemmings with bloodthirsty expressions in their eyes in one wave. The tyrannical wolf howling sound waves are many times more lethal than the high explosive bombs and incendiary bombs of Bob and other new human teams. It is like a ruthless life harvester. A large number of lemmings died, and the killing range of Sirius Xiao was as high as 50 kilometers. Even though the farther the distance, the weaker the killing power, but the vitality of ordinary lemmings is too fragile. Even if the wolf howling talent is reduced to the minimum, weakness is not something they can bear at all. Under this terrifying howl of wolves, tens of thousands of densely packed lemmings were turned into balls of blood mist and minced meat by this roar. Squeak. The alien Lemming King tried to use his talent of cracking the air again to increase and stop Sulin's slaughter of rats under his command, but it didn't help at all. Its level-splitting talent was too slow, and before it could make a sound, Sirius Xiaoyu's tenfold talent shattered nearly 1,000,000 densely packed lemmings around the alien Lemming King into blood mist. Originally, the alien Lemming King thought that its sonic talent was so powerful that it could crack gold and stone. But today I discovered that the sound wave of this white wolf's howl is even more terrifying. With the roar of the white wolf, the rat swarm with a radius of 30 to 40 kilometers was almost completely wiped out. Just one sound wave collided, and nearly 1,000,000 lemmings under its command were shocked to death by the white wolf. The alien Lemming King is heartbroken, because even with the fecundity of a lemming group, it would take half a month and a lot of food consumption to reproduce a swarm of nearly 1,000,000 lemmings. Even the eyes of the remaining lemmings were filled with horror and fear. But facing the threat of the white wolf, the alien Lemming King gave another sharp and long howl, before he could feel his heart take for a moment. The bloodthirsty look in the eyes of the other lemmings also became a bit more intense, which suppressed the horror and fear in the eyes. Then the rat wave also quickly separated under the call command of the alien Lemming King. Only by separating can the sonic damage be reduced to the weakest. Then the rat tide began to rely on the superiority of numbers to surround the wolves in all directions. This is what the alien Lemming King has come up with, and it is the best way to counter the talent of the white wolf howling. As for the alien Lemming King's talent sound wave, he once again had several head-to-head decisive battles with Sulin's wolf howling sound wave. In this cold Arctic ice field, the sonic talent of the alien Lemming King has reached level A, and it is second only to him among the many alien species that Soren encountered. But still too weak. How can the level-splitting talent compete with the S-level Sirius Xiaoyu. The current S-level Sirius Xiaoyu sound wave already has 70% of Su Lin's current attack power. 70% of Su Lin's attack power, even without opening the hunting talent, has reached a force of more than 10 tons. This kind of force combined with the pervasive sound waves, at close range, even the bones and internal organs of the alien species will be shattered under the roar. Pong, pong, pong. The tyrannical sonic impact resounded through the cold Arctic ice sheet. It was nearly 100 degrees below zero, and the hard ice layer, that had been frozen for an unknown period of time, also exploded a lot in this fierce collision. Shards of ice flew and sea water splashed in all directions. In this sonic collision, even though the rat tide spread out, some lemmings were still crushed by the aftermath of the impact. After all, the vitality of lemmings is still too fragile. With the aftermath of terror spreading, death can only be their final destination. In this tyrannical sound wave collision, the alien lemming king was also under the tyrannical sound wave of Sirius howling moon by Selene. He was so shocked that he only felt pain in his internal organs and flesh. Even though the teeth were clenched tightly in the pair of sharp mouths, there were still traces of blood overflowing. There is no doubt that in this sonic duel, the alien lemming king suffered a lot. In its pair of small eyes, there is some madness, but also some shock and anger. It never expected that after hundreds of days and nights of hiding in the dark and gloomy snow cave and developing in obscurity, it's still lost to this white wolf. Why? It also has an entire colony of lemmings to support. Could it be that millions of lemmings are no match for the terrifying growth of this white wolf? Or is it less effort? The alien lemming king couldn't accept this ending, and more ferocious arrogance and fighting spirit rose from its small eyes. It can fight again. This is just a sonic duel. It doesn't represent anything. It also has an overwhelming rat wave under its command, and it also has a more powerful talent that has not been used. At the same time, the alien lemming king could feel the chilling killing intent of the white wolf, not far away, had locked on him. The killing intent was so intense that every cell in the alien lemming king's body was stimulated into the strongest state of combat readiness. This strong killing intent also means today's battle, it and this white wolf are destined to die here. Under this kind of stimulation, the alien lemming king screamed even more sharply. The aura on the huge body of a full *** meters also rose to become more and more domineering and crazy. War, since one of them is destined to die between it and the white wolf, why can't it be the white wolf's blood staining the ice field? Following the frenzied cry of the alien lemming king again, the surviving rat tide and the wolves under Selene's command completely confronted each other. In terms of individual strength, even the Arctic fox, the weakest among the wolves, far surpassed the lemmings. It's just that there are too many rat swarms. Even though Su Lin's sound waves of Sirius howling moon just now killed at least 1/3 of the lemmings, the rat swarm is still densely packed at nearly 4 to 5 million. 4 to 5 million may not sound like much, but in the Arctic where food is expensive and scarce, it was unheard of for such a rat swarm to gather in this region. Because of such a terrifying rat swarm, the food they need every day is huge. This is also the rat tide that devoured the herbivore population in the wolf pack's territory, devouring thousands of tall eggs. Then the alien lemming king led the swarm of rats without stopping, and rushed to this area with pure energy. It is not only for itself, but also to alleviate the food problem of millions of rats under its command. You must know that the rat swarm was on the way, and even forcibly gnawed off a layer of the ice layer, so you can imagine how hungry they are. In the rat tide, who was extremely hungry and had the talent bonus of the alien lemming king, seeing the charging wolves, there was no fear in the pair of bloodthirsty eyes. On the contrary, there was excitement and desire to see the food. And the monstrous pack of wolves gathered together, facing the lemmings at the bottom of the food chain in the icy and snowy world, even has the belief that they must kill. How can such a group of weak and dirty mice be compared with wolves in their eyes? Do you really think that gathering together and rushing over in a swarm is a group battle? Do you really think that relying on the large number, you can be unscrupulous? You must know that lemmings have always been abundant in the Arctic ice sheet, but no matter how numerous they are, they can only be used as rations for hunters from all walks of life. Today's battle is no exception. Roar, oh, chirp. The different species under the command of the Selene wolves all screamed and commanded the members of their respective command. After the start of the war, countless alien races wolf tribes, and bear tribes also frantically slaughtered rats after entering the war. With the sound of Red Tail's cry, the mental power was activated, and the powerful mental power also wiped out all the damage caused by the rat tide. These weak lemmings, who only knew that they were fighting desperately under the orders of the Lemming King, couldn't even make a miserable cry, and died under the fluctuation of terrifying mental power. Nighthawk led more than 20 alien species, and even killed them in the rat wave. The same is true of the elite wolf clan led by Xiaohui. On the one hand, the little lone wolf led his wolf clan to divide the battlefield, causing the huge rat swarm to fall into chaos, and on the other hand, he was still killing one after another of the alien lemmings in the rat swarm, whose size exceeded the limit. A ferocious light flashed in Xiao Du's wolf eyes. The alien lemming in the land of adventures was only a mere one, and he didn't enjoy killing it with the wolves under his command. Now this swarm of lemmings just satisfies him. This pity. Attack in an all-round way, bloom at multiple points, divide the battlefield, and decapitate the alien species. The hunting tactics that the wolves have perfected for thousands of years are also displayed in this forest of ice and snow. There are also hundreds of female wolves led by the cousin, which are used as restraints to interfere with the rat tide, preventing the rat tide from attacking Little Gray, Little Lone Wolf, Red Tail and so on. The bear clan under Xiao Bei's command, because they don't have the bonus of the Wolf King Sirius Xiaoyu, and they are bulky, once they are possessed by the rat tide, they may not be able to get rid of them at all. Therefore, Xiaobai just led the bear clan, hunting and killing the wandering lemmings at the very edge. Now that the wolves and rats are colliding fiercely on the Arctic ice sheet, no one knows what the final outcome will be, but the confrontation between the two species will determine which side is the real master of this Arctic ice sheet in the future. In the fierce battle between the rat wave and the wolves, Su Lin's peak speed was fully activated, and he rushed towards the upright alien Lemming King. When the alien Lemming King saw the white wolf charging with a sonic boom, the mad and ferocious arrogance on his body became more intense. Let's fight! Let's fight! Isn't the development of hundreds of people hiding in snow caves day and night just for the present? It has been suppressed by this terrifying white wolf for too long, and it has been too long to look forward to this hardy battle. Squeak! Ah! At this time, the sharp chirping of the lemmings and the loud howling of the wolves intertwined together under the dark night sky. On the way to the alien Lemming King, Su Lin had a thought, and the numerical attributes of this alien Lemming King also appeared in front of him. Species new, golden lemming, exotic, level 32, vitality, 7,289, stamina, 772, strength, 703, defense, 672, speed, 703, talents, lurking, grade B, cracking the sky, grade A, blood rat, grade A, sacrifice, grade A+. When the attributes of this alien Lemming King appeared in front of his eyes, Su Lin's pair of dark blue wolf eyes became more murderous. The strength of this alien Lemming King is beyond his imagination, even stronger than that of the alien Muskox King. Level 32. Even the name of the species column has changed. Golden Lemming. This means that the genetic level of this Lemming King has also undergone a qualitative change. Under the support of one race, this alien Lemming King has developed to an extreme. They even have 4 talents, and even have a talent of a plus level, superclass. Su Lin felt that the strength of this alien Lemming King was almost the same even if it hadn't exceeded the limit of the alien species. This alien Lemming King is different from the alien Muskox King. The alien Muskox King has an absolute shortcoming in speed. The alien Lemming King, like the wolves, has almost no shortcomings, whether it's endurance, strength, defense, or speed. They are all among the best among the alien species that Su Lin has encountered. Such a tyrannical alien Lemming King does have the arrogance it should have. Facing Su Lin's attack, the alien Lemming King did not dodge at all, and a crazy bloodthirsty flashed in those small eyes. The speed of the whole body is also completely explosive, and directly meets the head-on. When the sound of violent gold and iron colliding sounded in the cold air, the speed and strength of the alien Lemming King are also extremely wild among the alien species. With the help of speed, this blow reached a force of more than 20 tons, which was enough to easily tear apart the heavy tanks driven by Bob and others. Even if the heavy tanks driven by Bob and others are made of special alloys and are extremely strong, they will still be as fragile as white paper under such terrifying attack power. Since the alien Lemming King climbed out of the dark and gloomy snow cave, there is no one enemy in front of it. Whether it's the fat herbivores in the wolves' territory, or the black monsters and copper-colored behemoths in the previous battle. However, in this violent collision, it could clearly feel the powerful counter-shock force, and the sharp claws and bones that had been strengthened countless times felt severe pain. This tyrannical anti-shock force also spread along the sharp claws to every corner of the whole body. The internal organs, blood vessels, and cells all felt the pain as if they were about to be shattered under this anti-shock force. Squeak! Under the severe pain, the alien Lemming King screamed sharply, and the white wolf broke up at the touch of a button. As the king of the rat tide, it used to be able to enjoy the support of millions of lemmings and obtain an astonishing growth rate. It can safely hide in the depths of the dark snow cave, and it has grown to such a tyrannical strength in just over a year. But the alien Lemming King is lacking the invincible killing and ferocity that I have grown up in the shopping and killing again and again. Just the powerful anti-shock force after the violent collision caused this alien Lemming King to disperse at the touch of a button. This kind of endurance is not as good as the alien peregrine falcon, Arctic silver fox, alien grizzly bear, alien muskox king, or even the alien lynx couple. But the alien Lemming King soon realized his gaffe. It hurts. Doesn't this white wolf not hurt? This white wolf can bear it. Why can't it bear it? Kill. If you want to win this white wolf, you have to be stronger and more ruthless than the white wolf. As a Lemming King of more than 30 different species, the wisdom he possesses has long been no less than that of humans, and even his learning and reaction abilities are even better than that. After reacting, it clenched its sharp teeth and fought with Celine again. It's just that even if the alien Lemming King reacts, the ferocity and murderous nature of Su Lin and the little lone wolf can't be cultivated overnight at all. It was the accumulation of iron-blooded killings and bloody battles. Such killing and ferocity are enough to make all species terrified. Accompanied by an earth-shattering wolf howl, Su Lin galloped towards the alien Lemming King again. Every time the thick wolf claws ran and jumped, they stepped on the thick ice layer one crack after another. Su Lin's speed was like electricity, and the speed of 500 meters per second was like a white light in shadow, going directly towards the alien Lemming King. The extremely sharp wolf claws also popped out completely. If this alien Lemming King only these levels, then Su Lin can only say that this wretched Lemming King, who has been growing for more than a year, those unfulfilled ambitions and hegemony are probably stillborn. Senhen's killing intent in Su Lin's wolf eyes became stronger. The speed value of the alien Lemming King is also extremely fast, and it is also faintly approaching the speed of sound. It is also, in addition to the exotic peregrine falcon, the only one who can react to Su Lin's attack when the two sides once again head-to-head shopping together. Whether it is the claws and fangs of Surin or the alien Lemming King, they have undergone countless evolutions and have already become the hardest and sharpest killing weapons. During the confrontation, due to the violent collision and friction of the sharp claws of both sides under the dark night, sparks flickered. In this tyrannical fight, both sides are exploding with 20 or 30 tons of force. The wild aftermath of the shock, centered on Surin and the alien Lemming King, spread to the surroundings. Squeak! Under such close shopping, both sides also unanimously burst out another talent sound wave. Because at such a close distance, the power of the talent sound wave will reach its peak. Everyone has plans to cut each other down on this Arctic ice sheet. At this time, Su Lin looked at this alien Lemming King with sharp ears and golden hair in his cold wolf eyes. Apart from Senhen's killing intent, there was also an expression of devouring flesh. New species. The alien Lemming King is a new species beyond its own genetic level, and the evolutionary value that such a species can provide is definitely not a small amount. Moreover, this alien Lemming King has a body size of 8 meters, and this body of flesh and blood will have at least nearly 10 tons. This heterogeneous flesh and blood alone is not a small gain. At this time, under such a close-range duel, the sound waves roared by both sides almost completely exploded on each other. Su Lin was dressed in pure white and flawless wolf hair, and he had already entered the fighting state. The thick wolf hair blocked the terrifying killing of the sound wave. However, The pervasive sound waves still made Su Lin's internal organs vibrate. There was also a trace of blood, overflowing from the mouth of the Surin wolf after a long absence. It's just that these injuries and pains are not in Su Lin's eyes at all. What he cares more about is the extreme damage to the alien Lemming King. Su Lin's serious howling moon sound wave mobilized almost all the dark blue fluorescence. The double serious howling moon merged into one. This is the sonic lore that he found out when he was talented in howling wolves. Under the extremely tyrannical double serious Xiao, the alien Lemming King suffered the most serious injury since its birth, not one of them. At this time, the roaring and tyrannical wolf howling sound wave reached its peak along with the phantom of the serious howling moon in the dark night sky. The terrifying double serious howling at the moon made the alien Lemming King feel that there were several cracks in his internal organs, as if they were about to split open. The huge body was also shaken 200 to 300 meters away by the howl of wolves, and countless shards of ice danced where it rolled along the way. During the tumbling, the skin and flesh of the alien Lemming King were smashed, and blood was flying. This close-range sonic duel directly shocked the alien Lemming King into a serious injury. The S-level talent, Wolf Howl, couldn't handle the alien Lemming King in the confrontation between the two sides thousands of meters away. What's more, this time it was at such a close range, and it was the sonic lore condensed by the double serious Xiao. The pervasive sound waves made this almost super-class alien extremely miserable. Puff. Immediately after the body of the alien Lemming King stopped, before the shattered ice fell, a line of blood spurted out of its mouth. Too strong. This Wolf King is too strong. But before it climbed up from the ice, its extremely sensitive senses sensed the near-fatal threat of death approaching rapidly. This made it too late to sigh with emotion and pant, and just let out a sharp cry, trying to get up and fight against the white wolf again. But the white wolf's speed is too fast, 500 meters per second. Before the sound arrives, the shadow arrives first. Before the alien Lemming King got up from the ice, he felt another hard hit on the soft side of his abdomen. Without the slightest defense, Su Lin's blow contained more than 30 tons of terrifying damage. With one blow, the huge body of the alien Lemming King rose into the air again. The abdomen of the alien Lemming King was also cut with a bloody and terrifying wound by Su Lin's sharp wolf claws. Although the wound did not dissemble the alien Lemming King, the organs that were still wriggling and contracting could be clearly seen inside. Even several arteries were cut open by Su Lin's sharp wolf claws. This caused the precious blood of the alien species to splash out from the wound of the alien Lemming King for nothing. In this splash, the sky also seemed to be raining blood-colored bits and pieces. At this time, the alien Lemming King, who was rolling in the sky, also felt that his vigorous blood value was passing away rapidly. For it, chi and blood are equivalent to vitality. So while the blood value was passing by rapidly, the alien Lemming King activated its second talent almost without thinking. A level talent Blood Rat. A red-purple fluorescence burst out from the huge body of the alien Lemming King. In the dark midair, the red-purple fluorescence was faintly comparable to the aurora in the sky. The Blood Rat talent of the alien Lemming King is actually very similar to the wolf talent of the little lone wolf. They are both talents that exchange injuries for powerful strength, but the A-level Blood Rat's talent is far superior to that of little lone wolf's recently advanced B-level Dire Wolf. A-level Blood Rat talent not only can rely on injuries in exchange for a substantial increase in strength, even the blood spilled from the injury will become a blood-colored coat attached to the body under the trend of talent, which can provide a lot of defense power and suppress the loss of blood value to the greatest extent. After the current alien Lemming King activated the Blood Rat talent, the blood from the wound no longer scattered and flew in the air, and indeed turned into a blood suit attached to ******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* that had just crawled out of a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. Blood rat. This talent is indeed worthy of the name of the blood rat. After the alien Lemming King used the talent of the blood rat, its injuries and pain were also suppressed. Strength is also skyrocketing with the strength of the injury. During the surge in strength, the alien Lemming King also forcibly turned himself over in midair. After landing with a bang, his limbs stood firmly on the ice. Now with the explosive increase in strength, the speed and strength of the alien Lemming King have been on par with Celine. The skyrocketing strength brought about a skyrocketing courage. With the support of strong strength, the alien Lemming King also screamed sharply, and began to counterattack Su Lin. In its pair of bloodthirsty small eyes, it is full of desire to defeat the white wolf, and tear the shadow in its heart. It is this desire that makes it think only of quick wins. But it seems to have forgotten that talent is not the only thing it has. Before the alien Lemming King rushed to Surin, there was an earth-shattering howl of a wolf, and Su Lin's huge wolf body flashed a rich scarlet fluorescence in an instant. The scarlet fluorescence was quickly restrained, making Su Lin's wolf eyes instantly turn the color of blood. Limbs, fangs, and sharp claws have also been greatly enhanced under this scarlet fluorescence. Surin's hunting talent, following the last time he killed the Arctic silver fox and the alien peregrine falcon, was once again shown in front of the alien Lemming King. In this cold Arctic ice field, Surin has never encountered a stronger growth talent than hunting talent. Hunting talent, if you use it, you will be bloody. Su Lin also wanted to see how much of this talent the alien Lemming King possessed. For a moment, his scarlet wolf eyes were full of cold and fierce light. After activating the hunting talent, Su Lin's already extremely tyrannical aura has become more and more out of thin air. This tyrannical aura made the alien Lemming King, who was full of courage just now, feel boundless oppression again. It's this feeling again. It's this feeling again. How long has the alien Lemming King been suppressed by the white wolf? It hates this feeling so much. This has become the shadow and nightmare in its heart. Kill. No matter what, since he has already confronted the white wolf, why should he be afraid of a battle of madness? Even though the alien Lemming King is not as murderous and ferocious as Su Lin, his obsession to break the shadow of the white wolf is too strong. Under this kind of obsession, its eyes are full of bloodlust and madness. The alien Lemming King has accepted the support of so many lemmings under his command, and has grown silently for hundreds of days and nights. How can he be willing to be suppressed by Su Lin? Under the madness, the several golden patterns behind the alien Lemming King also shone brightly. These golden lines seem to inject a new force into the alien Lemming King, and its attribute value has risen again under this energy. Squeak. Accompanied by a sharp and ear-piercing loud cry, the alien Lemming King fought with the white wolf again. With the golden pattern flashing on the back of the alien Lemming King, he already had a huge body of 10 meters, but it seemed to have grown bigger out of thin air. This golden pattern is where the different Lemming King is not only mixed with the essence of the different Lemming King, but also where its original power lies. The intense flickering of the golden pattern on the back also made the alien Lemming King's aura full of oppression unique to the strong. This extreme sense of oppression made many members of the wolf pack, who were close to the battlefield of the Wolf King, and the alien Lemming King feel like a black cloud was overwhelming the city. It's just that this feeling didn't interfere with the fighting and confidence of the wolves, because the arrogance rising from the Wolf King was even more tyrannical and invincible. Is there any opponent in front of the Wolf King? No, at least that's what they saw. Following the Wolf King through so many bloody battles, when did they see an opponent that could truly match the Wolf King? No matter how strong the hunter is, there will be no second way in front of the Wolf King. Death is the final destination of all opponents of the Wolf King. Ah, roar, oh. With absolute confidence in the Wolf King, many members of the wolf pack directly ignored the aura rising from the huge body of the alien Lemming King, and began to roar and slaughter the rat tide again. In particular, Red Tail and Little Lone Wolf, who are Arctic silver foxes, had the best results in this peak duel between the pack of wolves and the tide of rats. Red Tail's majestic mental strength is equivalent to a ruthless harvester. For this kind of ordinary lemming, even the slightest mental fluctuation is enough to shock these lemmings with weak vitality to death. Under the mental power of Red Tail, it is unknown how many bloodthirsty lemmings died. The Arctic fox family led by Red Tail also feeds on lemmings all year round. Today's lemming meat is so abundant that it makes their beautiful black eyes a little excited. In their eyes, these lemmings mean food reserves for an unknown number of days in the future. And the Little Lone Wolf led the male wolves under his command to kill the alien lemmings in the rat tide. After these alien lemmings were killed, it was almost equivalent to defeating the command center of the rat tide, the rat swarm, which was originally huge and orderly and could carry out a unified attack, became a little chaotic. Without these exotic lemmings, the threat of this vast tide to many members of the wolf group was greatly reduced. At this time, In addition to the fierce battle between the wolves and the rat tide, the alien Lemming King and Su Lin also entered a truly intense shopping battle. The extremely tyrannical arrogance of the two sides also intertwined and collided with each other in the dark night sky. Squeak! Ah! The Mouse King screamed, and the Wolf King screamed. The strength of the alien Lemming King has almost reached the superclass level, and when the strength is running to the peak, the golden lines on the back are also blooming with more dazzling fluorescence. And Su Lin's chi and blood were running crazily, like a huge smelting furnace. A lot of crushed ice fell on Su Lin's huge wolf body, but it was quickly evaporated into streams of water vapor by the heat brought by the surging blood. In the rising of countless water vapors, Surin looks more mysterious and powerful. In the extreme collision, both sides were beaten until their hair was covered with blood. But most of these blood belonged to the alien Lemming King. Even though the alien Lemming King was struggling desperately, he couldn't resist Su Lin, who had activated his hunting talent. At this moment, Su Lin's strength has already reached an astonishing level. With the addition of a speed of 1,500 to 600 meters per second, Su Lin's peak blow has reached hundreds of tons. Hundreds of tons. This is an incomparably wild force. Under this blow, Senhin's air seemed to tremble. Squeak! Under such a peak blow from Su Lin, the alien Lemming King screamed frantically and stretched out his claws to fight back. The several golden lines on the back are also consuming the power of the source without hesitation. But even though the bloodthirsty eyes of the alien Lemming King were full of madness, even though it has already taken its life, even though the blood has spread all over the body, and the thick blood scabs cover up the original face, it can't resist Su Lin's pinnacle blow at all. When the sound of huge metal collisions exploded in the cold air, this blow was too heavy. During the collision, the skin and flesh of the alien Lemming King exploded under the powerful anti-shock force, and the internal organs felt as if they were shattered. The fresh blood spilled out, and the terrifying fluctuations in the collision zone between the two also spread out around them. Pone, pone, pone. The fluctuation of this shock force alone caused the ice around them to burst, and countless lemmings instantly turned into a cloud of minced meat and blood. Even the few wolves and bears who were close to the battlefield were thrown hundreds of meters away by the tyrannical fluctuations. At this time, under the terrifying shock force fluctuation, it also attracted the attention of many members of the wolf pack and lemmings in the rat swarm. After all, even the lemmings with low IQs who can only survive on instinct understand that no matter how fierce the swarm of rats and wolves are fighting each other, in the end everything will depend on the duel between kings and kings. Want to know why social animals are so powerful? Not only because of their large number, but also because they share a common core and belief. Under the command of this core and belief, they dare to go forward without fear of life and death. And now there is their king in the center of this battlefield, with their spirit and belief. But no matter how many lemmings are watching, it can't stop the defeat of the alien Lemming King. At the very center of the tyrannical fluctuations, as the shattered ice falls, both the wolves and the rat tide have seen the alien Lemming King, with all kinds of buffs fully activated, looking extremely miserable. Under this violent shockwave, the 7 orifices of the alien Lemming King crazily overflowed with blood. Part of the blood splashed onto the fur of Surin's wolves, and part of it turned into blood scabs and attached to the body of the alien Lemming King. This blood scab not only enhances the strength of the alien Lemming King, but also provides it with a strong defense. At this time, one of the sharp claws of the alien Lemming King was broken by the violent impact just now. The thick blood scab defense was also completely torn apart by Surin's invincible wolf claws. The chest of the alien Lemming King was scratched with a bloody scar by Surin's wolf claws under the extreme collision just now. The scars can already see dense bones. The extreme pain caused the alien Lemming King, who was already weak to bear, to scream sharply and miserably. It doesn't understand why. Why did I rely on the millions of rat hordes under my command, and the growth of hundreds of people supported day and night still lost to the white wolf? Why does the white wolf seem to feel no pain in the shopping between me and the white wolf? Obviously his sharp claws have cut through the white wolf's flesh and hair. Obviously the effects of force are mutual. How could it be the only one that feels the boundless extreme pain? What is the reason for all this? The alien Lemming King didn't understand. It even felt that today's bloody battle with the white wolf had shattered its previous cognition. Maybe some species don't feel pain. Or maybe the growth of some species is not in the category of understanding at all. At this moment, the mind of the alien lemming king is full of thoughts of destroying the three views and cognition. Su Lin, who just activated his hunting talent, didn't give this alien lemming king much time at all. The passage of every minute and every second means the passage of time for Su Lin's peak combat power. After defeating the alien lemming king, Surin didn't hesitate at all. The peak speed of 1,500 to 600 per second suddenly appeared again, and the dense sonic boom cloud almost covered his huge wolf body of 13 meters. Such a speed also made the alien lemming king only vaguely judge Su Lin's position by relying on his senses. As for the so-called listening to the position, at Su Lin's speed, it has become an empty talk, because this is a peak speed that exceeds the sound several times. The transmission of the voice was too slow for Chu Surin, who was really caught in a bloodbath. Boom! When the alien lemming king heard the first explosion, Su Lin had already come to him. Again, squeak. Unwilling to be defeated like this, the alien lemming king did not escape, because after the shopping just now, he already knew that with the astonishing speed of the white wolf, even if he wanted to run, it would be a luxury. It continued to scream sharply, fighting with the white wolf. As the king of the rat tide, how could it be willing to fall down like this? But Su Lin Lang's eyes flashed with a cold light, and he rushed over and hit the head of the alien lemming king again with his claws. When the huge impact sounded again, only this time there was the sound of flesh breaking and blood splattering. Su Lin's blow almost tore half of the small head of the alien lemming king into pieces. Only the dense white bones inside were exposed, and even the brain that was left without the scalp wrapping was still visible pulp. This pain is self-evident. Under the pain, the alien lemming king screamed even more sharply, and it was really about to be unable to bear it, which was not strong enough to bear it. Under this severe pain, it felt that almost every cell in its upper and lower parts was trembling and howling. But it already knew from the terrifying murderous intent emanating from the white wolf's body that the battle between it and the white wolf could not be stopped just by anyone saying it. The battle between it and the white wolf is endless, and it will end only if one of the two sides completely falls down. Never die. Under the stimulation and extreme pain, the alien lemming king became even crazier. At this time, the white wolf smashed half of its face off, its head buzzing from being smashed, and one could even feel a large amount of blood congesting in its head. However, the alien lemming king still slapped Su Lin's throat fiercely, trying to seal his throat with his claws, so that the white wolf could also experience the extreme pain and the weakness of the rapid loss of blood. But it went wrong. The sharp claws of the alien lemming king never touched Surin. On the contrary, when the claws just stretched out, it felt the pain of being torn apart from the claws. During several shopping battles with the alien lemming king, the white wolf, who has never used its fangs, showed its sharp fangs in the cold air. Katsa, the white wolf, bit the outstretched claw of the alien lemming king, and then relied on the powerful power contained in the wolf's body, with a fierce biting and dragging. The alien lemming king's huge body of more than 10 meters was dragged down on the thick ice layer. Boom! I don't know how much crushed ice splashed in the fallen lemming king, whether it is in the cold Arctic ice field, or in the plains and grasslands with lush species. Often, as long as the prey falls to the ground, it often means the end of hunting, because after landing, the weakest abdomen is exposed in front of the eyes, which can be easily disemboweled by hunters. So when the alien lemming king was dragged down abruptly, he screamed even more frantically. But the alien lemming king never thought of relying on the sound of tweeting. Just let the white wolf let himself go, because it knows that in the cruel nature, survival has always been fought by itself. In addition to tweeting, the alien lemming king is struggling even more frantically. The alien lemming king is unwilling to die. It has been wretchedly developed for hundreds of days and nights. How could it think that it would just be defeated here? Squeak! The alien lemming king screamed crazily. The fluorescence on his body began to fade, and a mysterious gray-black force began to descend. This gray-black power, like a boundless dark cloud, shrouded the huge body of the alien lemming king. There was also a sense of danger in the gray-black mist and dark clouds. This made Su Lin look cold, and gave up the plan to dissemble the alien lemming king, but directly slapped the huge body of the alien lemming king several hundred meters away. The huge body of the alien lemming king drew a deep ravine on the ice, and finally crashed into a huge raised iceberg. But this weird gray-black mist still hasn't dissipated. But within a few seconds, the dark gray cloud outlined a huge mouse in the dark night sky. Next, this huge mouse made of mist converged into the body of the alien Lemming King at a very fast speed. Then, he was seriously injured by Su Lin, and even the blood rat's talent was almost shattered. A wild and incomparable aura rose from the alien Lemming King again. Squeak, accompanied by a shrill roar. The scabs attached to the alien Lemming King fell off completely, revealing the terrifying injuries all over its body. Half of the face of the alien Lemming King was torn off by Su Linsheng. There were horrible injuries caused by wolf claws on the abdomen, chest, and back. In each of these injuries, you can see the bones inside. Even one of its sharp claws was broken by the white wolf. After the scab fell off, it can be said that the appearance of the alien Lemming King was nakedly displayed in front of all the species that were fighting and killing. The injuries on the entire body of the alien Lemming King were almost miserable. Many lemmings saw the tragic state of their own king, and their eyes were horrified from the bloodthirsty red light. There was a touch of clarity in his eyes, and after the clarity, there was endless timidity and fear. Is this real? Many lemmings couldn't believe the scene in front of them. The king who used to be invincible in his heart, the symbol of supremacy, was injured in such a miserable state. And the white wolf on the opposite side still stood tall, without even a decent wound on the huge wolf's body. Is the white wolf really that strong? Seeing the miserable appearance of his own king, the lemming had the thought of retreating in his eyes, because no matter how weak the species is, they all have the desire to survive, especially when the talent of the seriously injured alien Lemming King can no longer control the rat tide. Every lemming whose eyes have regained clarity wants to escape from this killing field. In such a killing field, I don't know how many lemmings have died. Countless lives and blood have disappeared here, dyeing the originally frosted white ice layer red. Under the infection, a lot of blood flowed into the Arctic Ocean below the ice layer. Many vigorous fish in the Arctic Ocean were attracted by the extremely strong smell of blood. Even a few killer whales, which are the top predators in the ocean, swam over with their tails flicking. It's just that the killer whales with keen senses turned their bodies around and fled the sea in a hurry after sensing the two extremely powerful breaths above the thick ice layer. Because in their sense organs, those two incomparable auras, one is like a huge melting pot, which can burn all things, the other is like a strange and terrifying black fluid, trying to corrode everything. No matter which one of these two breaths kills them, it is easy to kill them, so they didn't dare to stay in this area at all. At this time, above the ice layer, after following the alien Lemming King to stabilize its figure, its gray-black eyes scanned the crowd of rats. When they found that many lemmings were out of the control of their talents, and even had a lot of thoughts of retreating, there was an unprecedented ferocity in those small gray-black eyes. Squeak! Another loud, piercing howl. Following this howl, the gray-black mist that had been restrained into the body of the alien Lemming King surged out again, scattered into countless nearby lemmings. In this mysterious and weird gray-black mist, there are also countless lemmings that instantly turned into dry fur in a miserable howl. The soul, flesh and blood, and even the bones were all plundered tyrannically. Then, after the gray-black mist came out of the lemming again, the dots of mist grew slightly bigger. Squeak! Under this strange gray-black mist, all the lemmings around seemed to feel the end of their lives, and began to howl sharply and miserably. As the gray-black mist descended into the body, not only the life of the ordinary lemming, but also the soul seemed to be swallowed. They seemed to have been sacrificed to an extremely terrifying existence by their own king. Squeak! Countless lemmings affected by the gray-black mist were all howling miserably in the direction of the alien Lemming King. The king of alien lemmings, after all, evolved from ordinary lemmings. When the wailing of countless kinsmen came to it, even if it had long been used to treating the lemmings under its command as consumables, a trace of reluctance flashed in its eyes. Why does it think so? You can fight against the water for supremacy. If you lose, you will perish. If it was defeated here, the rat tide under its command would also be unable to survive. If it wins, no matter how severe the rat tide's losses are, it will be able to develop rapidly again. So in today's battle with White Wolf, it must win. The extreme desire to win in his heart, and the deadly sense of danger from the White Wolf's attack again. The reluctance in the eyes of the alien Lemming King disappeared immediately. Soon the ferocity and madness returned. Let's fight! Let's fight. Even if all the rat hordes under its command are dead, what's the matter? The dead bodies are less than tens of millions, and the waves of blood can't be overwhelming. Its duel with this white wolf has not yet decided the outcome. As the alien lemming king screamed again, the nearest part of the gray-black mist began to quickly return to its body. The blessing of this gray-black mist made its strength increase dramatically. This chapter is not finished. Click next page to continue reading. Greater than. Devouring Evolution. I was reborn as an Arctic wolf, and there is more gray-black mist, greedily devouring the lives, flesh and souls of the lemmings like a whale. It's just that these terrifying gray and black fogs can't kill the members of the wolf pack. This scene caused a cold light to flash in Su Lin's scarlet wolf eyes. He had already guessed that the gray-black mist of the alien lemming king was its strongest a plus talent sacrifice. It's just that it can be seen from this sacrifice that only the same family can be sacrificed. But with so many lemmings under his command, after being devoured, the sense of danger brought to Surin by the gray-black mist became more and more deadly. This sense of danger made Su Linlang's eyes glow fiercely, and he didn't let the gray-black mist continue to engulf it. Ah! A wolf howl like thunder on a sunny day exploded in the cold air again. Rolling sound waves are Surin's best way to deal with this boundless gray-black fog. In addition, even if my serious Xiaoru talent couldn't shatter the gray-black mist, it was still enough to kill all the rat swarms in a radius of 30 to 40 kilometers. After Sirius Xiaoru was promoted to S rank, he could already be controlled by Sulin, and would not kill any members of his wolf pack. On the contrary, as the phantom of Sirius Xiaoru was outlined, there will be many dots of group growth coming to the wolves under his command. Boom. After the Surin wolf howled, the rolling sound waves roared above the ice layer. How terrifying is Sirius Xiaoru under the bonus of hunting talent? Under the sound waves of howling wolves, countless shattered ice burst into the air again, and the gray-black mist, under this terrifying sound wave, seemed to have encountered a nemesis. Many gray-black mist that had just absorbed a large number of lemmings' lives were completely dispersed under this howling wolf. The remaining large amount of gray-black mist also frantically fled in the direction of the alien lemming king. It's just that the sound waves of Sirius Xiaoru were too fast. A lot of gray-black mist still roared away, and only part of it returned to the body of the alien lemming king. But in this part, hundreds of thousands of lemmings were killed. Therefore, the momentum and strength of the alien lemming king are rising terrifyingly. But the alien lemming king looked at the gray-black mist dispersed by the roar of the white wolf, and his eyes were extremely distressed. This is all the lives, souls, and flesh and blood of countless lemmings under its command. Although the sacrificial talent is overbearing, the sequel are also extremely strong. Not only does it need sacrifices from the same race, but even its source of life, chi and blood, and essence will suffer considerable damage. But now, the sacrificial talent that paid such a high price was destroyed by the sound wave of the white wolf's wolf roar. That makes it almost insane. Kill. Under the frenzied killing intent, the alien lemming king first screamed sharply, rolling the sound waves of sky-cracking talent and Sirius Xiaoru, and there was another terrifying collision on the ice layer. In view of the general environment, this site may be closed at any time. Please move to the permanent source replacement app, ManhwaRecap, as soon as possible. It's just that the sound wave collision this time is extremely terrifying. Even the iceberg behind the alien lemming king was shattered in the terrifying sonic talent showdown. Countless shards of ice rose up. This time the height of the shards reached 200 to 300 meters. And in the rising of the crushed ice, Su Lin and the alien lemming king quickly rushed towards each other without wasting any time. In their eyes, there are endless cold flames burning violently. In the shattered ice flying, they also fight together one after another. There is no doubt that the sacrifice talent also has a very short time limit. Therefore, the alien lemming king also wanted to decide the outcome with Su Lin in the shortest possible time. And Su Lin's hunting talent was less than a minute left, and the cold killing intent rising in his eyes was stronger than that of the alien lemming king. Kill, kill, kill. The killing intent of both sides almost tore the air. Under the influence of this terrifying killing intent, the members of the wolf pack, who were still a little distracted to pay attention to this battle, also resumed the slaughter of the remaining rat hordes. But under the double blow of the alien lemming king's miserable appearance, and being slaughtered and sacrificed by his own king, the morale of the rat tide which was excited at the beginning, has already plummeted. Originally, they could still rely on the advantage of numbers to contend against the wolves, but now that morale is low, the battle between the rat swarm and the wolves has become a situation that is about to collapse at the touch of a button. Many lemmings even started running away crazily, because they were afraid of being sacrificed again by their own king. You know, rats are timid by nature. The fact that he is able to stand on this fierce battlefield now is because of the talent control of the alien lemming king and his trust and admiration for his own king. But just now, this kind of trust and admiration was shattered bloody. The spiritual pillar also shattered in an instant. So they returned to their usual timidity, a rat swarm with no morale, only timid and cowardly. No matter how many there are, how can they compete with the wolves? For a moment, as the lemmings scattered and fled, the pressure on the battlefields of the wolves suddenly felt relieved. However, the members of the wolf pack did not give up on this best opportunity, and they all began to howl and hunt down the rat tide. Take advantage of his illness to kill him. This has always been the law of survival, under the cruel nature. Faced with the loss of morale and the swarm of rats fleeing, the wolves will naturally slaughter, and hunt even more frantically. Because slaughtering a group that dare not even resist, why not do it? And just when the wolves started to slaughter rats frantically, the battlefield between Su Lin and the alien lemming king was also a bloodbath to the extreme. Although less than a minute had passed, in this short period of time, the alien lemming king and Su Lin had countless head-to-head encounters. This is a real life and death duel. Without the slightest temptation or hold back, they all have supersonic terrifying speeds, and the shopping duel in the flying shattered ice is often thousands of meters away. Fighting and fighting, there are also their loud or sharp roars in the crushed ice. The huge bodies of both sides were filled with pungent blood, and there were also several new terrifying injuries. In the fierce fight, the physical strength, vitality and blood of both sides were rapidly disappearing. Even on Su Lin's huge wolf body, several bloody gashes were torn open by the alien lemming king, and Su Lin's physical strength was also reduced to the warning level for the first time in a long time. Ah! Squeak! But the roar still continued, but the roar was not as powerful as it was at the beginning. They both consumed too much in the fight with each other. They fought for a long time again, until the night sky was stained with blood, and their talents faded away, but they were still fighting tirelessly in the crazy duel. It's just that no matter what kind of unprecedented and tragic war, it will eventually come to an end as time goes by. After an unknown amount of time passed, anyway, when the area with a radius of tens of miles was beaten into a mess by them, the battle between the two sides, which can be called unprecedented in the Arctic ice sheet, became quieter and quieter until there was no more movement, only the violent panting and killing intent of both sides. And the shattered ice splashed wantonly due to the fight finally ended completely, revealing the huge bodies of the alien lemming king and Su Lin inside. At this time, both sides suffered shocking and horrific injuries, but the sharp teeth of the alien lemming king, which was covered in blood, bit Su Lin's wolf shoulder tightly, and large streams of blood overflowed. But none of the members of the wolf pack were worried about the wolf king, because they could all see that the injury of the opposite alien lemming king was much more terrifying than that of the wolf king. Most of the bones of the alien lemming king were shattered. The other half of the face was also torn off, and the flesh and internal organs were even more blown apart in another close-range sonic duel. In addition, Su Lin's eyes were cold, and the sharp wolf claws directly stabbed the alien lemming king through the chest. Even on the claws of the wolf's claws, there is still the heart of the alien lemming king that has been torn apart. This heart that exudes strong fluorescence is still exuding steaming heat under the cold air. The alien lemming king was all over his body. After the heart of the essence was torn off by the white wolf, although he still wanted to continue fighting, he could only feel blood red in front of his eyes, and his huge body was also weak and weak. Without the beating of the heart, it means that there is no supply of blood. The heterogeneous lemming king, who had already suffered severe injuries and was relying solely on his talent, finally felt as if he couldn't hold on after his heart was removed. So tired, really tired, under the severe weakness and fatigue caused by excessive blood loss, the alien lemming king could no longer insist on biting. Boom! Its huge body slipped from the body of the white wolf and fell onto the blood-stained ice. After falling down, the alien lemming king couldn't help panting, but also felt his end. Various complex expressions also flashed in its blood-filled eyes. In the end, the eyes filled with blood still fixed on the white wolf. After all, it still lost to the white wolf. It was so afraid of pain that it fought with its life, but it also lost. But no matter how crazy it was in this tragic duel, after a while, no species will still remember it. In many cases, success or failure only depends on the result. The winner is the king, and the loser is the bandit. All species will only remember the king, who rules this Arctic ice sheet. The alien lemming king also knew that as he fell to the ground this time, it will mean that the silent development of hundreds of people, hiding under the snow cave day and night in the past, as well as the monstrous ambitions and aspirations after birth, will completely disappear into thin air.
Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.